So we are at Six Flags Frontier City in Oklahoma City, which is the very first Six Flags theme park to open up after all of the COVID-19 craziness shut everything down. We're going to kind of go see what the experience is at a theme park in a post-COVID-19 world. I guess technically we're not post-COVID-19 just yet. There are still cases out there, but things are starting to open up and places are putting in precautions for customers and guests to come back to resorts and hotels and theme parks. And since this is the first Six Flags to open up, we're going to take you along for the ride to see what it's like to experience Six Flags in the heat, in a mask, and socially distanced. So one of the things that Six Flags is doing is this contactless temperature check. And so we're going to go in this gate and see what that all is about. Good?
Yes, sir.
Cool, thanks, man.
Enjoy your day.
Appreciate you guys. So that was pretty easy.
So if you want to go first,
Thank you. All right, so the process to get into Six Flags was shockingly simple. There was no line whatsoever. I walked through what I can only assume was the actual temperature check area, but there was nothing to tell me that that's what they were doing there. And then there was this new contactless metal detector to make sure that I didn't have anything highly metal on me. I didn't take my phone out of my pocket. I didn't have to take my camera out. As you saw, I was using my camera when I walked through the system. And then I just went right through. They said, come on in, enjoy your day. So let's go enjoy our day. And just FYI, it's about 90 degrees today. So it's gonna be hot today, but not as hot as it's gonna be later on. So the first place I'm walking through is actually the kids area because I have two small children and I want to know, are my kids going to be safe here? The first thing I noticed is that they've closed the playgrounds. You know, that's probably just to help promote the social distancing, just to make sure that your kids aren't picking up anything in the ball pit or on the slides or anything like that. But the areas that used to be playgrounds are boarded up now. The other thing I've noticed is that there is hand sanitizer at the front of the line at every ride, which I'm completely cool with that. Anything that's going to help keep me and my family safer, totally cool. I got no problem using hand sanitizer. So the dining area is one of the very few places in the park that you can take your mask off. Obviously you can't eat or drink with a mask on, but everything was pre-packaged in covered boxes. Even the lettuce, onion, and pickle box is in a covered box. So they're doing everything that they can to make sure that your food is safe when it comes out to you. Another item of note, if you don't have the souvenir cup with the unlimited refills, there are no straws in the park. So make sure you bring something to drink out of if you're one of those people that just have to have a straw. So overall, the dining experience, exactly what I would expect. It's cleaner than Frontier City usually is. Not perfect, but I did see people on a regular basis going around and washing off the tables. So if you're like me and you're kind of a germaphobe, I'd go ahead and bring some wet ones or something to sanitize the tabletop with, just as an extra precaution. But overall, I wasn't mad at that. I know one of the arguments that a lot of people had wearing masks was that people would get overheated, and I've seen a ton of EMT and health people walking around to make sure that you are staying hydrated and you're not just passing out. So I feel really good about that too. Let's see if we can go ride a ride now. All right, so the first thing I noticed in this line queue is that nobody's really figured out exactly what they're trying to do. It even took me a second to figure out exactly what was going on. You have these spaces on the ground that say stand here, but then you've got these yellow diagonal lines that almost would tell me don't stand here. So they want you to stand here, but completely bypass that, walk around and stand there, completely bypass all of this and stand here, and kind of do it that way. But there's no clear markings here. So down here at the Wildcat, they've actually done a little bit of a better job explaining how this is supposed to work because they've written on here. So I'll kind of show you. You'll see the dots of the social distancing where they want every group to stand. And then they've got the yellow lines that say pass through only. And I think that's a much better job of explaining what they're trying to do here. And people seem to be adhering to it. So you stand here. And then you don't stand here at all. That way people that are here and here don't have this social distancing to worry about. But there's nobody here, so we're gonna go this way. One of the other things they're doing on roller coasters is they're only using every other car. So you've got the social distancing even on roller coasters.
Exit to the right and back of the train. Like any other.
All right, so we did the first roller coaster with a mask on. I didn't feel like it was going to fall off at all. That said, I'm not wearing a paper mask. It's got some weight to it, this thing does. And the bands are pretty secure. So I think that's just going to depend upon, you know, how secure your mask is. As far as enforcement of the mask goes, Six Flags is doing a great job. I actually just passed a group of security guys that just asked some people to pull their masks up because they were kind of down around their chin. Boom, right up it went. Alright, so my overall opinions about my trip to Six Flags, extremely positive. To be honest, there were more positives than negatives, so let's start with the positives. One, the temperature check and metal detector entry system that they have right now is flawless. To be honest, it went by so quickly that I almost forgot that it was happening. It was just boom, I was in the door. Kudos on that system. Disney and Universal need to get on to that sort of a temperature check and metal detector system. I also appreciated that the food came in clamshells and that they were cooking things as you ordered them, so nothing was just sitting out. I didn't feel like my food was just going to lay there and get contaminated, so well done there. I love that there was hand sanitizer at the entry and exit of every single ride. I really appreciated that because I don't want to get off of something where someone's been sitting right before me and then suddenly, oh, where's my hand sanitizer, and have to walk around. It was just right there available to me. I also really appreciated how on top of things they were with the masks. Anytime they saw someone with a mask underneath their chin or with it hanging down where their nose was exposed, security or an EMT would come over and get right on top of it and say, hey, we need you to put your mask on, please, or please exit the park. Kudos there. That said, I did see an unusually high number of staff members who were not wearing their masks correctly. So I think if Six Flags, if you're going to ask people to do this, and I have no problem doing this, even though it was hot, I have no problem wearing a mask for you. You need to make sure that your staff is doing that as well. I also appreciated that they would take about every 30 minutes and spray down the roller coasters with disinfectant. That made me feel really comfortable. Again, though, we did notice at one particular ride that only half of the seating area was sprayed down. I did see some other people walking around spraying every square inch of the handrails that were around. So in all honesty, 80% of the time, kudos Six Flags. You made sure that your park was spotless. You made sure that your tables were wiped down. I felt like everything was cleaner than I've ever seen it before. And Frontier City is generally not the cleanest park in the world. So well done there. Am I going to come back? Absolutely. Is it hot? 100%. Does a mask bother me? Not really. Were there times where it was hot and I was a little bit annoyed? Sure, but I'm the kind of person who's willing to put myself through some extreme environments to be entertained, whether it's a concert or riding roller coasters. So the mask honestly didn't bother me because I was still enjoying myself. But if you're the kind of person who gets annoyed with wearing masks already, just gets unusually hot and kind of cranky, I'm that kind of a guy. Or if just theme parks as a whole is already not your cup of tea, Six Flags probably is not the place for you right now. Do I think that they'll probably lift those restrictions in a little bit? absolutely. I think that they're going to start easing things up. But for right now, you probably want to avoid it. For everyone else, though, honestly, it was a great time. I'm looking forward to going back. I'm going to probably go home in just a little bit, make a reservation to go with the kids because I did feel safe enough to bring my kids. And I'll look forward to some time with the family. Anyway, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the new procedures that Six Flags has put into place. I'll do my best to answer them, or just let me know, are you planning to go to Six Flags? Are you going to avoid Six Flags, and why? Until then, we'll see ya.